All right, guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be going into something different. So now we are going to be touching on prepositional phrases. So things are starting to get a little bit more complicated here. So the biggest thing is kind of knowing the difference between an adjective prepositional phrase and adverb prepositional phrase, because it does matter where it goes, obviously, because if it's an adjective prepositional phrase, it's going to be touching the noun or pronoun that it's describing, whereas if it's an adverb prepositional phrase, it's going to be touching the verb that it describes. Okay, so let's take a look at adjective prepositional phrases first. So with the adjective prepositional phrase, the sentence is the TIE fighter with the curved wings zoomed past. Okay, so with the curved wings is our prepositional phrase. So the way that we diagram that then is, because it is describing the TIE fighter, and remember with adjective prepositional phrases, it always goes right back to the word that it's describing here. Okay, so when you diagram it, okay, you first have to start with the subject, of course. TIE fighter is the subject. You know, you put that on the first horizontal space right here, big long vertical line there to separate the subject from the verb, and then the verb is zoomed. You always do that first, right? TIE fighter zoom, that's your basic sentence. Okay, then you know, you have a little slanty rib here. Okay, and so you put the, because that's the first word that describes the TIE fighter, right? You keep everything in order. All right, but then notice this funky other like super rib right here. Okay, so now notice what happens. The preposition with goes on the slanty part of the line. Okay, notice that. Then on the flat part, okay, goes the object of the preposition. Okay, because remember I said, you know, basically like all nouns and pronouns are going to be flat, right? Because then this word, this object of the preposition, has its own little ribs coming off of it. So what describes the wings? Well, the wings and the curved wings, right? Okay, so it's like a rib within a rib, all right? So that's how you do it. And again, it is touching the TIE fighter because that is what it's describing, okay? And then, of course, past over here to finish it off is an adverb touching zoomed, okay? Same type of thing then for adverb prepositional phrases, all right? We have the sentence, the X-wing flew through the trench. So through the trench is our prepositional phrase, okay? Through is our preposition, the is our adjective, and trench is our object of the preposition. So basic diagramming first, create a horizontal line. We have our subject first, which is X-wing, okay? Big long vertical line here that passes through. The verb is flew, so X-wing flew, okay? That's our basic sentence, right? Then the is describing the X-wing, all right? And then over here, notice that same type of like look. It's always going to kind of be like a slant plus a shelf plus maybe most of the time another slant underneath, or a couple different slants, like, you know, like up here, all right? So then looking at this, since this is an adverb prepositional phrase, it's describing where the X-wing flew, okay? So that's why this prepositional phrase diagram part is coming off of the verb. Okay, so again, the preposition on the slant, through, okay? The object, trench, so through trench, and then anything that describes the trench goes underneath it, so the, okay? So, so that's prepositional phrases, all right? On today's assignment, though, you also will be looking at appositives as well. So it gets a little bit more complicated here, right? Now for appositives, remember we talked about appositives with commas. So like Luke Skywalker, the last Jedi, rescued Han Solo. So this last Jedi part is the appositive, okay? It's an appositive phrase, all right? Remember, it just like renames whatever came right before it, all right? So this gets a little weird. So when we're diagramming this, our subject, you know, is still Luke Skywalker, okay? But then right after it, you need to have parentheses for the appositive, and you only put the, you know, the noun that it describes. Luke Skywalker, Jedi, okay? What describes Jedi? So you need to make sure that these ribs are underneath Jedi. Don't have them over here underneath Luke Skywalker, because that's not going to be right, okay? So underneath Jedi then are the words that describe Jedi, the and last, right? Okay, then you have the big tall vertical line, okay? And then our verb rescued, and now this is an action verb, and it does have a direct object, which we talked about last time. So tall vertical line that does not pass through, all right? And then so Luke Skywalker rescued what or whom? Rescued Han Solo, okay? So that's a positive. So they're going to be in parentheses, and then anything describing the appositive is going to be on two slanty lines here underneath it, okay? And it doesn't just have to be the subject. This appositive could be over here describing Han Solo. If it were like Han Solo, you know, the smuggler or something, that would be a positive over here. Basically any like noun or pronoun can have an appositive. You could almost have, you could have an indirect object having a positive on it too, okay? So like if we went, you know, way back and we said, you know, like here, it could be R2-D2 launched lightsaber to whom? To Luke, and then we could even add that appositive right here. Luke, appositive, Jedi, the last Jedi, you know? So it can do any of the nouns. So like subjects, direct objects, indirect objects. It could go off of, actually too, it could even go off of objects of the preposition as well, okay? So anything that's like a noun or a pronoun, okay? And that's a positive. Whoops. All right. So again, if you guys have any questions on the assignment today, again, only 4 questions from the worksheet. Like I said last time, you might want to do them on a separate sheet of paper first, and then just like fill in the answers online. Might be easier for you. I don't know, however you want to do it. So, all right. Well, good luck. Again, if you have any questions, Zoom me up during my online office hours. See you later.